continued reading, and as we were ending, and I was happy that we were ending the chapter, because by this stage I couldn't hold on any longer. I had to talk. They say here, and they misquote from the scriptures. It was to the coming paradise. Paradise has not yet come for them. It was to the coming paradise on earth that Jesus pointed when he promised to the criminal who died alongside him, "You will be with me in paradise." And I'm thinking, that doesn't sound right. I said, let me open the Bible. I looked in my Bible, I looked in their Bible, I looked in the Greek Bible, and all said the same thing. And I said, and so then we finished the chapter. It finishes there. That was this week's lesson. And I said, hold on a second. I said, it says here, "You will be with me in paradise," I said, but it seems like that there's a misprint here or a mistranslation. But I said, because in the scriptures, I said, and I checked all three that I had with me, I took all my Bibles as well. It says, "Today you will be with me in paradise." I said, you're speaking about a paradise that is to come. And Jesus is saying to the thief that today you will be with me in paradise. And even if you know just simple Greek, the original Greek says, "Simeron metemu en to paradiso." Even if you know simple Greek, "Simeron metemu en to paradiso." Okay? Today you'll be with me in paradise. So Jesus is saying, I said to them, to the thief, that today he will be in paradise. I said, but you're speaking about a paradise that is to come. How is this possible? And they said to me, this is their answer. They said, that's impossible, they said, because Jesus resurrected after 3 days. They said, how could he be in paradise today, he said, when he resurrected after 3 days? And I said to them, for you that's impossible because of your understanding of who Jesus is. This is why it's important, First Ecumenical Council and the nature of Christ. Because of your understanding who Jesus is, I said that's impossible. But for me, that's not impossible because Jesus is also divine and he is also everywhere present, who fills all things. And they stop and they say, you understand that Jesus is divine? And I said, yeah, Jesus is also fully God, fully man. So he could have been at the same time in paradise. So then we got into this dialogue about the divinity of Christ, which lasted an hour. And so this is why we need to be fully aware and read our entire scriptures as they are. They said to me then, they said, how do you believe that Jesus is divine? And I said, show me a passage in the scriptures. Show me a passage in the scriptures where it says that Jesus is not divine, I said to them. And they said to me, open up to 1 Colossians. They said, 2:9. The fullness of deity dwells. Don't worry. We've got plenty to say with them, don't worry. They said, open up Colossians, they said to me, and read chapter 1, verse 15. Okay? Chapter 1, verse 15. This is what they do. Okay? Be aware of this. They said, he is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. Full stop. We stop there. The firstborn of all creation. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. And they say to you, stop there. Stop reading. They said, if he is God, then why is he called the firstborn of all creation? For us, that's easy because, Christ comes from the Father. He's begotten of the Father, not made. But for them, they're understanding that he was the first person created. And I said, hold on, don't stop there. Keep reading. So this is why we need to read our Bible in context. The whole thing, and not just take little verses. I said, keep reading, I said, because it says straight away, for by him all things were created that are in heaven and on earth. I said, visible it says, and invisible. The next verse, 15, 16. I said, so is he created or is he the creator? He had the authority of God to create. So then he's the creator. No. So which one is he then? The created or the creator? And they said, so why does it say firstborn? I said, ask them. Go to Leo, to Timothy, 1 Timothy, I said to them, chapter 3, verse 16. Why does it say then that God was manifested in the flesh? So God became flesh. He was justified in the spirit, seen by angels, preached among Gentiles, believed on the world, received up in glory. And this is the first creed of the Christians. The first official creed was, God was manifested in the flesh. Why does it say that? Let's go to, then they said, their thing is, let's go to another Bible passage, they say. When they can't answer something, let's go to another Bible passage. Answer me, why was God manifested in the flesh? Don't worry about the other Bible passage. Tell me, what does it mean? No. They say to me, go to John. All right, let's go to John. Sorry, I'm going to think, but this is important. Let's go to John. Why do they say in John? John 20. By the way, the teacher was an ex-Greek Orthodox lady. The teacher, yeah. John 20, Jesus meets Mary Magdalene and says, Jesus said in verse 18, verse 17, Jesus said to her, do not cling to me, for I have not ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God, because Jesus calls him my God as well. And I said, that's fine. I said, of course, being fully human and fully divine, Jesus says, I have come to be the servant and not to be the servant, to serve and not to be served. He came as a humble servant. So he refers to him as God the Father through his human nature, of course. I said, but just go in the same chapter. I said, keep reading, Duzleo. In the same chapter, we haven't even changed chapters. It says in the same chapter that Thomas falls at the feet of Christ and says in verse 28, my Lord and my God. So they take little parts of the Bible and say this, but they don't read the entirety of the passage of the Bible. My Lord and my God. And it's in their version as well. It's in their version. So I said, even look in your version then. Telos pandon. I brought to them Isaiah, where I said that the virgin shall conceive. The virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel. I said, what does Emmanuel mean? And they said, God is with us. And I said, then why is the prophecy saying that God is with us? God was always with us, they're saying. And I said, if God is always with us, I said, then why does he feel the need to come with us now through the Virgin? I said, I've never seen, I promise you, I don't know what happened, but I've never seen a Jehovah's Witness get angry before. And he said to me, this is his words, because this is the other guy. Listen, he said, you asked me a question, I answered it for you. If you don't want to take it, that's it. And he was I could see the veins coming through the thing. He said, my son's name is Raphael and it means stream of living water. He goes, does that mean that he's a stream of living water? And I said, what? I said, is Isaiah playing with names now? Is he prophesying just playing with names? And thank God, it was evident of how dangerous heresy can become.
You weren't able to convert any of them by the end of it?
No, convert. That's true. But
they like what it is that they believe in.
For them, it's very shallow. Yeah. But what astonished me the most, and this says a lot, when I spoke to them about grace. 2 times they laughed at me, by the way. They laughed at me because they had nothing to say. They laughed at me about the Isaiah thing. They said, ha ha ha, about the name, Well, is that your interpretation that God? And then when I said to them about, I said, why would God forgive sin? Why would Christ forgive sins when he healed the paralytic man, he says, I forgive your sins. And around him they said, your sins are forgiven. And so he says, your sins are forgiven. Around him the Pharisee said to him, who has authority to forgive sins? Only God. I said, then when they said that, why didn't Jesus correct them and said, no, it's only through the authority of God, like you said, because they said it's only through the authority of God. And then I said to them, what about when Jesus performed the miracle of the blind man?